Hi, in this video I'm going to go over installing AutoFacebook 2.1 to ZenCart 1.5.1. In theory it can work on older versions of ZenCart, however I haven't tested that so I can't be sure. At the end of this I'll talk briefly about adding an app icon, enabling an AutoFacebook update on product updates as opposed to just new products, and changing your currency. Alright, so to get started, I have a kind of a dummy site, the default ZenCart site installed at html.com/ZenCart. And the first thing we're going to need to do is go to developers.facebook.com. And once you get here, make sure you're logged in as yourself, your personal account, and not your actual business page. Otherwise, when you click apps, you'll see something totally different than this. So, to get started, we're going to create a new app. And you're going to want to name it something relative to your business. So, we're going to do HTML product updater. You get a little valid, and then everything else you can leave alone and just click continue. So, fill out your caption if you get one, and click continue. So we're taken to a page where we're given our app ID and our app secret. These are going to be important for the actual configuration of the plugin. One thing we're going to want to do down here is we want to expand website with Facebook login, and we're going to give it the location of a file that we haven't uploaded yet, but it needs to be given before we can run the file. That may be kind of confusing, so I'll get into that a little more. But essentially, we'll give it our store URL, and then the script we'll be editing. So, if you've downloaded AutoFacebook 2.1 from either html.com or, of course, ZenCart, you get a zip. You'll want to extract the contents of that zip if you haven't already done so. And then you'll see this Facebook authorization.php file. That file we're going to need to upload to the root of our store. So if your store is mystore.com, you'll want it there as opposed to /ZenCart. Mine is in a subfolder, so I'm going to put it in the ZenCart folder on my server. But first, we want to, since we know we're going to do that, we're going to actually fill this out, because we'll put Facebook authorization.php at the root of our folder. So Facebook authorization.php. Now, once that's done, you're finished with the app creation, and you can click save. So you can see we're given, basically it gives you notice that you changed, says it may take a minute to propagate, and we're good to move on. So the next thing we're going to do is open up our Facebook authorization file. I'm using an IDE called Web Builder. I happen to be a fan just because it's like an older one that I learned on, but it's got some nice features like the ability to save directly to the server you're working on. But I won't do that for now, since we'll just upload via an FTP client. Anyway, you'll see you have places to fill in your app ID, your app secret, and your site URL. Now we have that over here, so if I split screen, we can just copy and paste. So I'll take my app ID, get it in between the quotes. Same thing for app secret. And of course, we want to fill in the site URL. which is also here if you're looking for it. So that being finished, you can now save it. And if you open up your FTP client, get this stuff out of the way, we can now upload just that file to the root of our store. So you can see I have it here, and I'm in my ZenCart folder on my server, and I'll go ahead and upload. Now that it's finished, oh yeah, there it is. So what we can do now is fire up our browser and actually go to that file. If everything was entered correctly, you'll see the name of your app that you just created, as well as basically a prompt. You'll be redirected to Facebook, and then you'll get to go to app, where you can then approve it and allow it to manage your pages. Now I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it off screen as some of the information is a bit private, but I'll show you the piece you actually want to be looking for. So you may only have one, and maybe pretty self-explanatory because you only have one page that you want this to post to. I've got a few that I maintain, so if that's the case, you want to look for your page. Mine is HTML, and you're given an ID and you're given an access token. Now with that, we can actually continue editing the next file, which is an admin includes modules, and it's this update_product.php. So if you go into that file, you'll notice that around line 89-90, you've got 4 lines for essentially everything we've just been able to collect. So our app ID is the same as it was in our Facebook app setup. So let me get back to that. Our app secret is the same. Our page ID was the file given to us from running our authorization. So here, and our page token is this long number given there, which will simply go here. All right, and then you'll want to fill in the next 4 lines with information relevant for your store. So we'll do html.com. You could also name it something that isn't a URL. For example, mikescupcakes.com, or well, that's a URL, but or something with spaces. So actually, for the example here, I'll do HTML Superstore. You'll want to change this to your store URL. So if it's just a website, you want it to be your domain. If you're in a subfolder like me, you'll want to make sure you add that. Make sure there's no trailing slash there. Currency, we'll talk about later. And then new message this is where you can, if for example you only sell t-shirts, you could be more specific and have it say new tea, or new batch of cookies, whatever it is that your store is selling. I put a new product because that's a little more general, so I left it that by default. Now we're going to save. We're going to go to the root, and we're going to make sure we upload everything in our admin folder that we extracted from the zip we downloaded to whatever your admin folder is. Mine, I've named this. It's just a test site. Obviously, you wouldn't want to share that. So I'm going to upload the contents of my admin folder locally to the content to my web's admin folder. And once I do that, you'll probably get a prompt to overwrite your update underscore product.php, which is okay. Everything else should be good. And once that's done, you should be good to go. So if we go back to our store, we can now go to our admin, log in, and add a product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a new test product, backdated, so make sure it's there. We'll do test product, the name. We'll do price, $500. Test description. And we'll pick an image. So the HTML logo looks good. Preview. Everything looks right. So insert. Wait for it. For some reason, the Facebook API seems slow lately. But it went through. You can see Facebook was successfully updated. And now if we go to our business page, you'll see right there we have our new product. We've got our price, our test description, and product name came over, and everything is linking to our actual product. So that, if everything's good for you there, you can stop the video and you're done. However, if you want to know about adding an app icon, which used to be more important than it seems to be now, it looks like this has changed. However, if you go into your app settings, you can click here to edit, and you can add various sizes. 16 by 16 is the one that's going to appear underneath most of your status updates. Really, I don't mess with anything else, but of course you can go in and fill out information and fill out all of this. So that's how you would do that. As far as enabling auto Facebook, so that when you update a product, it updates your wall, it's simply copying and pasting everything from insert product type specific inserts here. So basically everything from line 89 to 100 and we'll say 32. You want to copy that and just paste it in the same, in between the same thing, but where it says insert product type specific updates here. So if I go over and paste, there, that will essentially take care of both for you. So if I save this and re-upload it to the same where we just uploaded it, it will now auto notify anyone that's following my page, not only when I add a new product, if I were to go in and update this product. So that's how to do that. Lastly, just go back. I've had some requests for being able to change currency, and to be quite frank, that eluded me for a while, and it's still kind of hit or miss. But you'll see here we can define our currency as a symbol, and what that does is it carries over into our price here. Obviously, not everyone uses the dollar, so you want to be able to change that. To do that, it's not so much about code as it is your character encoding. So you can see down here, I have ANSI, What I noticed I had to do is if I changed it to UTF-8 without BOM, I was then able to change this to pounds, euro, and save. I'll re-upload. I'll just do a quick test. So once I do that, I should be able to come back here, add a new product. Do it for 400 this time. Blah, blah, blah. And preview, insert. So now we should be able to see our euro once we get our Facebook is successfully updated message. So come back here, refresh the page, and there you can see. Now I also realized that some people had an issue with the currency being at the front of the amount as opposed to the back. So to do that, you simply come down to line 120 and you'll swap out this cur variable and the dot before it, and you'll just move it right in between price and the comma. Now when you save, you'll have the currency symbol behind the actual amount. If you wanted to insert a space, you could simply do 2 quotes, a space in between, and another dot. Now, obviously, if you don't do this right, you might see some errors, but it shouldn't really break your site. Just go back and make sure you have everything set up right. If you don't want the space, don't add it. Just leave the dot and you'll get your currency formatted just like you see here, where there's no space in between. So that is how you would manipulate your currency. Once that's done, save, re-upload, and you should be good to go. Okay, so for any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments at html.com or check out the forum at ZenCart. There's a lot of really great people on there that have been helping out. So either way. All right, I hope that helps.